So मैंने ये वाली वीडियो देखी कुछ टाइम पहले, and I will say it's really bad. I will say this is the one of the bad. I will say bad take. I will say it has so much bad in it that I will leave a very bad review uh, comment here. I think they remove it. I think that's okay because I leave a very nasty review here or comment here. It's like that. Okay, fine. Uh, I already watched this. I am going to watch it again. It is very difficult for me to do that. Well, let's do it anyway. And also, let's open some PHP code also. Oh no, I have too much here and there. Uh, let's quit it. Exit and see the files and check. Where, where is the file actually? I need to check it. Uh, it's probably in the server. No, not like that. Ugh, I have too much. GitHub. Okay, this is a library that actually I made. So let's open this and okay, and mhm. And you can see there is a composer. Everything is there. So uh, let's view this first. So I am actually opening this project because I think I have many points that actually I made on this video which is not valid and not true and totally false. I will say that this video is so bad there. Uh, uh, let's play this video. Oh, one second. I think I doesn't. Okay.
Between all of the programming
Okay.
let's just
Play.
say it like that. PHP is terrible. Between all of the programming languages that have ever existed, few of them are as hated as PHP is. This programming language is hated.
I think PHP doesn't get hate that much in the programmers, but more on in the top end. I will say that like manager or HR thing because or sometimes layman which doesn't know that much about PHP. They never code in the PHP. There is a chance any some senior PHP developer that actually develop in PHP in 2002 or maybe 2010, he will say it's really bad, but I'm not sure about me because I start PHP very early, I will say. No, late, I will say that. I start PHP in 2019, so at that time it's probably PHP 7 point something, and let's listen it.
By the coding community while still having a loyal user base. But why?
No, I think this is like some guys actually using Python, and they like to say Python is very good because I'm using it. They never use PHP, but they use only Python. That's why Python is so much popular right now because college only gonna teach you Python. That's it. They're not going to teach you PHP. Usually they are going to teach you in Python, and Python has its own goods. I will say Python is a good language, but it's not about Python. Python has a very good libraries. I don't think so. Python is a very good language. I think if you, I think I think even C is a better language. C is I think C is a OP language, but whatever.
Why is PHP hated by the community? And is it actually as hated as the internet makes it look like? You'll find out in this video, where I'll also bring my PHP programmer friend who will tell us his opinion on the language and how he thinks the language is actually overhated and pretty good. PHP was created to be a general-purpose scripting language made for web development. It was originally created by Danish-Canadian programmer Ramses Lerdorf in 1993 and released in 1995. It handles the back end of websites and is generally used to handle form data, manage databases, and create custom content for websites. Programming languages are supposed to offer a vast number of possibilities. Syntax, algorithm, that's what makes the beauty of it. When learning Python, you can easily make any program you want. That is not the case with PHP. It's often criticized for its ease of use and lack of opportunities. Anyone can code in PHP, and many inexperienced developers pick up the programming language and start writing functional but problematic
This point, I functional but programming code, problematic code. Uh, I think is you should not never done functional programming in PHP. Never. You should use namespace with usage. So you should not import code directly with import or require. You should not do that. You can do somewhere because there is an exception to every case, but you should not use uh, function only, because function is not PHP uh, manageable. I will say function is not manageable, and you should use something like this composer. These days you can use composer, and we can actually auto load automatically. You can use auto load manually also, but that can be little bit difficult, so I'll leave it there. But the auto load function with composer is very good. You can do it very fast, and it's basically like npm, but it has better feature, because PHP need a auto load feature for namespace and OOP to work well. So let's show you. Let's see, this is a namespace. This is my function that has a namespace. Where I define the namespace? Oh no, I define it here. It is da in the source. So in the source, this is a namespace named da. It has many things, and like da compile, and there's a view, da compile view. So this is a namespace, and we can use this namespace with help of use. Where I think in the model, okay, not in the model. Okay, it's not in the model. Like this, use GD image. GD image is a extension of a PHP that I install for some image related usage, creation, and everything about that. Uh, you doesn't need to use in model, in model we are using DB here, this DB here, but we are not importing use DB, like use the DB. We are not using that there. Reason is, we doesn't need to do that if it's on the same directory. So in same directory, in same folder, there is a file name class DB, so it can go pick up very easily. You doesn't need to do that, but many times you need to do that. Like we are using like use app model user and use Google client. Like if this user we are talking about here, it's not here because it's basically a library, and it's gonna tap on some my compiling thing. So I think now I'm regretting when showing little bit bad things here. I have something better, I think so. Mm-hmm. Okay, I think this will be great because this has everything inside it. You can see we are using require ones, but we are not actually using require that much, because we are doing require because we need to do something that is little bit specific here. These functions are only uh, give us some values that actually I store, and and this is our router, the web, and this router has like this is the web, and this is the route, and this is one of we are going to use here, and this is the route, and we are going to, I think I am not a very good to explain here, but the thing is this is a very big code, but it's very easily explainable because we are using autoloader here. This is autoload. Let's say let's check a service model. So this is the model we are using, that use that, and class that. This is only way to do things in PHP. You should not use function in PHP because that is very bad, because if you import a file, you are importing all function of that file. You can't import a portion of a file, a class of a file. You are going to import everything, so you should not use that way. You should use namespace, and you use this use keyword to get that the functions that you need. That here is a model that, and we are extending that model here, and this model is there, and just like that. So you have to do in a different way, like service controller, I think. Okay, so this is a service controller there. We are using executive services, and this is executive service, which is a model there, and it's like that. So we are using in this way, and we should use a namespace, not a function way. This is a very bad way to do things in PHP, and you should avoid that. People never understand that in PHP, because they are working on WordPress, and WordPress doesn't follow that function. And if you are going to use anything in the WordPress, everything is global, and I hate that. I really hate working on the WordPress that way, because WordPress has everything global. You are not using a function in a, you are using mostly function there. You are not using class that much there, and I hate that part of WordPress, and that's why I totally skip WordPress now.
Code, which is
Let's
difficult to
see.
understand and really messy, without forgetting the lack of security in the web apps that result from that.
What kind of security? What you're talking about? There is a password. There is a password attribute in PHP that actually don't let anybody see that attribute. Nobody going to know that attribute, because that is safety in PHP. I doesn't know any language that actually hide this way password. This security thing is very old now, very old. It is almost a 10-year-old thing, more than 10-year-old maybe, because I doesn't know about that, because I start programming almost 5 years ago in PHP. So I doesn't know that. I'm very happy with PHP. If you're going to make your own SQL statement and insert some values in directly there, you can create SQL injection in Node also. You can do that. That's why you should use some kind of binding there, and that's same now support in PHP also. In old PHP there is some issues there, but now everything is supported properly, and I don't think so. This is a very stupid idea, I will say, to say PHP has a strict security. What kind of security is you talking about now?
I mean, PHP is a programming language like any other. You can make anything you want with it, but the difference is how you can solve problems in those languages. PHP was originally designed with a focus on web development, and its primary use case is evident in its architecture. While it is possible to create command line programs in PHP, it wasn't the language's intended purpose. Additionally, early versions of PHP were known for their somewhat makeshift nature. Ramses Lerdorf initially conceived PHP as a template language for his web pages, which influenced its early development. I can go on Reddit and write that
He actually want it's temporary. He doesn't want to make it like a a proper language. He doesn't want to do that. He just creates some kind of like a temporary language that he going to convert in C, probably is like that, something like that. Maybe it's something different, but He make this language temporary. He doesn't want to this make this language properly, I will say that. And it's happened to take very, I will say, uh, everything at that time, and everything at that time start on PHP. It still is many language many website is still in PHP.
I want to learn PHP, and most of the answers will be to go for another programming language and get a greater return for your time. They are not wrong, since its reputation has taken over, and people tend to recommend more modern and suitable languages, just like Python to beginners. So
Again, Python for beginner is only because Python is a little bit easier, and most of the colleges are going to teach you in Python only. Most of the, yeah, sometimes they are going to teach you Java and C, but they they push hard on Python because probably they want to teach you some complex thing of programming, because Python is very easy and anybody can do many things. I have 2 3 project in Pythons, and now I'm creating a whole website, whole totally website in Python. Even if I have a template in PHP, but client doesn't agree, client doesn't want in PHP, because again, layman doesn't have an idea of PHP nowadays. It's all about everything about feelings now. Yes, they're not going to consider what is PHP going to provide you. I'm going to I'm going to provide him a website in less than a month, but he choose he going it it's okay take 3 months, but I need in Python, so I doing that now because customer want it. I can provide that. That's easy. So that's thing happen. I will say that PHP doesn't have a good reputation compared to other languages. Even JavaScript has a better language in layman's. But if you're going to technical people, they're going to say, don't use JavaScript, use PHP. No, probably they are not going to recommend you PHP. Nobody recommend PHP. This is the thing, and still most of the people going to use PHP, because if you want to start today, because if you want to do something with your life, oh sorry, do you want to learn something, and you should at that time implement that, and you get a better return, because uh, you should practice a language, and you can learn little bit of PHP and you can do many things with PHP. Again, you should use in the little bit better way, and at least follow PSR 4. Please follow PSR 4 with the classes and autoload everything, and don't use manual. Use Composer for your everything, and it can be very easy that way, because I try myself to configure manually autoloader, and it is little bit difficult, and every project I doesn't want to do that, so I use Composer. And I need Composer, by the way, because I need to access some other library also, so that way you should able to do anything with PHP. Use Composer with autoloader, and make sure everything in the namespace. Again, I'm again back in the namespace.
why waste your time learning that language? Well, to see that, let's analyze a snippet of PHP code together. We're first going to start by installing the language, and here's a sample code that will run. This is a simple login page made with PHP, and as you can see, the code is
Okay, first of all, you should not use echo here. I don't think so. You should use echo there. You can easily use in different way. Let me show you. Uh, mm, let's make a index.php. Not here. Not here. Let make it in another. CD HTML. I think I should not use it here. Let's make it some kind of word. Let's make it test. And oh, sudo and cd test. Oh no, why I am doing this? I just set everything in this folder. Um, okay, so I need to actually start to do something here. So I has to do some things different here. Oh no. Oh, why I'm doing this? Hmm. Is index there? Yes, there is index there. Let's. I think I has to check for some code here. Uh, CD. I has to prepare everything previously, but this is example.com. So if I go for example, so then why is not doesn't show that way? Hmm. Is it public? Okay, this is public HTML. Okay, okay. So let's remove this because we are not going to use it now. And you can see this is a blank page now. And let's see. Let's say we are going to say x is a true. So we can say if x and then we can say anything in HTML. You can see that this this is very good looking here. You should know. You should not do in this way, echo way. There is a other there is a other kind of thing there that you can do. Uh, Instead of using echo, you can use it like this way. It's not. I will say it's not cool that way, but whatever. I think I forget about this. No. There's something there. I think I basically you can show it there, and there is some other way. I think it in some other framework. I think name PHP Echo shorthand. Yeah, let's something like that. You can do it this way. But again, this is for if you want to show any kind of like variables there. So if I want to show some kind of variable there, I can say y is equal to, that's good, and I say y there, and I can say it like this way, y, and that's it. And so if we're gonna refresh this page again, You can see this. You can say this is a many that thing. I was many that thing and so on. If I remove y there is a bit error because there is no y there. Uh, Instead of that, let's say y is blank. There's many things you can do here. You can see that it's not that much difficult if you do it in the right way, which takes some time to do. It's not like you do in 1 2 years and you are doing in the wrong way. You are not following PSR4. Here's I'm not using PSR4 because I'm only showing it for example here. If I going to use in some kind of like a controller way, some other way, I will say that I'm gonna use controller like I have something here, I think so. So you can see there we have PHP here, and let's open controller. So we are using dashboard here, and dashboard is in view pages and dashboard, and here sometime it's happened. Okay, he's not, it's they are not able to find the dashboard. And why is that? Okay, so it's what I have. There's some issue there, but you can see this is about us page, and this is how everything is laid out. This is I made with the compiler, so it's not doing it in the way that you think it should work, because this is a little bit different way, but whatever, you probably could understand. I'm using I will say the namespace way, because you should use namespace. If you are not using it in namespace, then you are doing PHP in the wrong way. Never should do PHP in that way, never ever. So that's the case here. And this is how things can show, and this is not right way, I will say, to do PHP. Definitely SQL things can be this $sign and everything will be basically similar, but like user ID this way is basically you are talking about. No, I think it's not going to, because session ID is user ID, so it's probably not going to make it some kind of like SQL injection. But that's is still possible if user ID make user ID with the intention to do this, because sometimes that can happen, unless you make sure user ID doesn't have some kind of like codes or some kind of like values that going to make your SQL value to do SQL query to do some kind of different thing. Probably you should look for SQL injection for that, because this code is, if your user ID is integer, nothing going to happen there. But if it is string and user put some kind of string, that is very very bad there. But I hope it is only integer, nothing else there, and it's going to do anything there if you are doing in the right way with the UID. So unless I think that's fine this way. But again, this echo thing is going hurting too much. You should not do this way, because there is no, I will say, what can I say, there is no HTML LSP working here. There's no formatting that you can do here. Like if I will say P and
It is hard to read. This could maybe come
so again, let's see.
simple login page made with PHP. And as you can see, the code is hard to read. This could maybe come from me not knowing
Okay,
the
once again,
page made with PHP. And as you can
okay, this is not, you should not
See?
do this way.
language.
One
And
second.
here's a
Oh no.
Let's analyze a snippet of PHP code together. We're first going to start by installing the
Let's
language.
see.
And here's a
Oh no.
let's analyze a snippet of
One.
PHP code together. We're first going to start by installing the language. And here's a
Okay. Oh no.
let's analyze a snippet of PHP code together. We're
Let's make it slow because I want to show that page. Let's make it slow as possible.
first language. In here.
Okay, so you should not do it this way. Again, you should not do it this way. Include that way. If you are going to do in some kind of production, if you are doing some like here there things, you can do that. You can do in the testing, and you can do in some kind of like small thing. You are not going to say, you are not going to, as I say, extend it to many places. So you can do it, but unless you are doing in the very large environment, large application, you should not do it, include that much. I'm doing it I'm include, but I'm using that for some kind of like global variables, like session and other things.
Here's a sample code that will run. This is a simple login page made with PHP. And as you can see, the code is hard to read.
Again, he is not using in the right way. You should use in the some kind of this way. This is the best way to do things in PHP. I'm 100% sure about that.
Could maybe come from me not knowing the language enough, but the language is well known for its lack of strict structure.
Yes, you can do many kind of stupid stuff with it. You can do that. It gives you the freedom to make a mistake and come back and make it fixed. Do that. And which is very good if you are new and you want to make a website very fast, and you can do that. You can make a website in, even if you doesn't know anything about web, and you doesn't knew anything about programming. I made a website from scratch in 1 month. Not 1 month, I think 45 days, with without any kind of like issue, I will say. I face many issues there because I doesn't know that much. And yes, I done many kind of thing in a bad way. I'm not using that time namespace and those other structure that I should use, but I create a website in 45 days in my, or that is my first website. I'm very very glad I done that. I probably using in some this way. I probably gonna use. Yes, I think I'm using in this way, but I'm pretty sure you should not do in this way because I think I doesn't use that much HTML in Echo. I use HTML in Echo, but not that much. Here, Echo is using very, very, very much. You should not use Echo for HTML because formatting. You can use HTML formatting if you are not using with the Echo. There, I said it like this way. Again, I want to show this. This is a very simple example, but it's going to make a point, and that is the point.
And conventions, which results in inconsistent and difficult to maintain code. Auditing and maintenance become really hard. Well, I mean, just imagine coming back from a week of vacation and taking a look at that. This
is not the way to do it in PHP. Again, you can make a mistake, but you are not going to run with a beginner example of PHP code. Beginner code can be really really hard to read. Look at the WordPress code. You will say, what the hell is this? And other than that, I don't want to say
this
much
definitely
about it.
contributed to the negative outlook
see.
on the language and its bad reputation. If you've been watching this long and have enjoyed the video, consider interacting with the video in some way. It helps with the algorithm. Now, anyone can understand that if a programming language has high demand in the market and will make you good money, I'm not going to waste your time. It doesn't. Most companies aren't looking for PHP.
Yes, that's true. Most companies are not looking for PHP. Most companies, because PHP doesn't use at that level. And again, even if I agree PHP is a very great language, but I has to agree PHP doesn't have a very good reputation compared to Java. Not JavaScript, Java. Java is a very much a industrial language these days, and .NET also came in the same category. .NET and Java, So if you're going to do some good thing in a big corporation, they are probably going to use Java or .NET, maybe JavaScript, but there is a very low chances they are going to use JavaScript there. uh, Big corporation doesn't use any kind of like bleeding edge technology very fast. They're going to stick whatever works, and they have usually old code that are usually on running on the old structure, and their programmer are usually on the old languages, and they prefer to work on the old languages. I hate them, but that's they do. They doesn't take a new language very fast unless it's make it mandatory, uh, and they're going to pick a language and stick to it most of the time. That's uh, again, it's not about all of them, but most of them do that. So PHP doesn't have any place for them there. But for starters, and you are doing anything and make a product, I think PHP is a very good language. But about big companies, they're going to spend, I will say, l- let get back a little bit. Indian government spend almost probably 400 crore. How much best money is that? Let's see. Mm. 4,006 4,200. Let's add. So it basically 50 million. Or not 50 million. It's not. I think this is a okay. This is a lakh. Okay, this is the. I need two more zero there. Okay, now we are talking about now. So if you talk, this is lakh and I think this is totally wrong now. Okay, not much. I'm thinking about little bit more. But, so this is a half a million. Okay, it's too much less. I will say. Once again, 1 million rupees. 30 and 30. Okay, I'm totally wrong here. And what's happened there, man? Oh, this is a million. Uh, okay, this is a million. So it takes almost 50 million. Okay, $50 million to make a website. $50 million to make a website like of income tax. I spend too much time. Uh, I think I have too much dead brain cell now. Uh, okay, 50 million basically because I have transactions like I have very I think I have difficulty to do billions to crore because in India it's usually crores. Whatever. So it takes 50 million to create a website. Why they do that? They do in .NET. They have 750 people and they still can't made it on in time. And people are saying why they do that now because previously website are work fine. It has some issues because that website run on premise server and it has some bottleneck issue and server get crashes many times because it's not prepared for that much of traffic because India population is growing and especially payable population is growing, so most of the people does need to pay income tax used to that site. Okay,
developers
that's this
anymore,
PHP.
resulting in videos like PHP Will Make You Poor by Fireshell, where he says that HTML programmers make more money than PHP programmers. And we can definitely all agree that HTML is a programming language, right? Well, PHP can't be so bad, right? Well, no. The language has its ups and is made for a wider community, explaining its simplicity. Now, my friend will tell us about his experience with PHP and why it's not actually as bad as people make it out to be.
I started using PHP in school. It was pretty difficult to write complex code for dynamic
In school. Okay.
websites. Because of the syntax, our code became very unreadable, but then a few years later, I stumbled upon Laravel, a powerful but simple framework.
Okay. But Laravel has nothing to do like yes, Laravel is very popular these days. I actually use Laravel and I skip this Laravel nonsense because I think you should stick to your namespacing thing because Laravel force you to make sure you are using namespace. That's it. Laravel has nothing that special. It has eloquent models, I will say that's kind of special, but not much. Laravel is not that much special. Laravel is fine, and that's it. I said that. Laravel is fine, but more frameworks are better than Laravel. Laravel, I found out little bit slow, not a WordPress level slow, but still a slow framework because every framework going to slow if you are going to use total pure PHP. That's why I use very less code in my stack because last time my code has I use only one library that I shown you previously, and that's only probably a 500 kilobyte, maybe less than that. So that's the case with me. Eh, Again, you can use whatever one, and Laravel going to be easy and let you do many things, but you have to do in the Laravel way. And there is a blade thing because Laravel use some blades thing which is not compatible to any other PHP easily. If you want to change your framework and something happen to Laravel, you are very, I will say you are in a big trouble there.
Utilizing PHP to create web applications. Laravel convinced me that PHP isn't bad at all. I also did some scripting and I learned a lot from it. There are plenty of libraries to build whatever you want in an efficient and secure way. If you want to learn PHP to keep up with the industry, no problem. But nowadays, JavaScript and Java are at the lead. JavaScript can be used for anything, including strong backend.
JavaScript used for anything, I think any language can use for anything, but JavaScript has little bit better these days, but I don't think so JavaScript has any kind of advantage for web. At least and we should talk about only web. For backend also, if we are going to do some kind of React thing, React is so much heavy. If you are going to render everything in the backend, I give up. I gave up for React because React need so much machine for running a small server. I think you should never use React for servers and rendering. But it's up to you. You can do anything you want, and that's my opinion on it. and I'm using Go and PHP for server side rendering, and I'm doing some kind of like tricky thing here. Uh, should I show you? Let's show you. Like you can see, this is the website. Okay, let's remove clear cookie and site data. Let's remove that. I remove that, and now, and when I load that, response is in HTML. I got HTML, total HTML. This is not Angular application. OMG, there's some issue there. I has to fix it. I'm doing something there. I break something there. Okay, I'm gonna fix this. But the Angular application is going to work perfectly. That should not happen, but something happens. And Angular going to take a little bit because it's Angular. So, and these are the application now, and everything going to run a little bit faster than previously because this is application. And that is a point that you can do. I have to fix that now. I know now. Okay, I will fix after this stream. Maybe in stream I can do it. Anybody here? Let's see my stream also because I need to know. Anybody there that actually on stream? If nobody's there, why should I do anything? Nobody have. Let hire myself. Okay. This is so stupid, right? Whatever. Okay. Uh, and also, if you want to do for JavaScript, I think you should do in JavaScript for JSON thing because for JSON, I think JavaScript is a little bit better than anything else. But at the same time, JavaScript is a little bit different kind of beast. I will say that. But you can't compare it with the PHP because PHP has a totally different way to do things compared to JavaScript. But again, if you're going to compare both, there situation can be tricky and JavaScript can win because JavaScript is a little bit more powerful than PHP. But at the same time, PHP doesn't run its extension unless you got a message from Apache. Apache gonna wake up PHP. Okay, there is a request for you, and PHP gonna open up and run your request and close that that request. No, not close that request. Close itself after completing that request. No, Node doesn't do that. It's going to run in the background and take almost 70, 80 MB regularly, constantly, uh, while doing nothing. And over the top, you're probably going to use some kind of like NGIX thing or HTTP or Apache, whatever you call that. So it has a idle punishment compared to PHP, and PHP doesn't run unless request came. That's why PHP has a issue with the first request, and usually PHP request is little bit slower because PHP doesn't wake up unless you send a request to Apache, and Apache gonna wake up that PHP and hand over request to PHP. But it doesn't mean it's slow. It's not slow. It's compared to Node, it's slow, but it's not that much. Let's see. This is a very. It doesn't have much. I will say that. This is. You should not consider this as an example because this is a very. It has nothing that, but we can actually see what the issue is. Let's see. I have what do we get? Okay, no trusted source. Oh no, it's not going to do it because certificate expired and not. Why index HTML is open? Should I remove this? Okay, so 0, let's say 000. Oh no. No, wget. I has to do something else. I forget about. I have some kind of like, Mm, mm, uh, I'm totally forgetting what should use. Whatever. I think that's over for today. I should work a little bit more. Uh, Bye for that this time.